Welcome to Kick Him in the Head, a podcast that takes an inside look at the world of mixed martial arts, featuring interviews from some of the top fighters from South Africa and around the world, with a focus on the EFC and UFC promotions. I'm your host, Yao. Join us as we delve deep into the techniques, strategies, and mindsets of these world-class athletes, learning from their experiences and getting insights into what it takes to succeed in the toughest sport on earth. Welcome everyone to the Kick Him in the Head podcast. I'm your host, Yao, and tonight, as always, I have an absolutely jam-packed MMA episode for you. Tonight, we are recapping EFC118 that just happened this past week in Johannesburg. But tonight, I am not here alone. Tonight, I am being joined by an absolutely stellar panel of not only fighters, but also officials and super fans. So you're going to get a full cross-section of exactly how EFC 118 went. So please help me in welcoming my panel tonight. Tonight, I have Patrick the Beast Ochame, Joel Smith, and the one and only Ola from the Fight Week Show. Gentlemen, salute. Good evening to all of you.
What's up, yeah?
You too.
Yeah, man. Big up. Thank you for having us on. I appreciate it. Let's talk about it, bro.
Thank you, gentlemen, for making the time tonight. Now, I think we're just going to go straight into it, EFC 118, because it was an absolutely electrifying fight night. And as Graham Cartmel says, and as I say pretty much on every show, it was a stacked card. It was a card that was very enjoyable all the way from the start to the end, finish after finish after finish. Of course, we know exactly what happened in the main event. Wasn't a finish, but an absolutely great fight. And I think to start off, looking at this card, how did you guys feel about this card where you saw it coming out? The fact that there was only one very late change, and I know, Joel, you have personal interest on this one, but there's only one very late change in the form of Emerson Pedro against Lucky Makeka because David Mambo had pulled out. How did you guys feel about this card prior to the actual fight night? I think, Ola, let's come to you.
Yeah, I mean, the card in itself, magnificent card, well put together. And when you look at some of the names that was on there, yeah, I was actually drooling. And you know, one of my personal favorites, aside from the main event, was seeing Peace Excommunicado walking out to my favorite artist, DMX. It's gonna give it to you.
Give it to you.
I mean,
that's right.
One of my favorite moments watching the card. But yeah, salute to Graham for always putting out these cards. Now on a more regular basis, I was seeing even better stacked card. 119 is gonna be great, but this 118 card is right up there, man. And yeah, I was happy with a lot of the performances on the card.
I think, Joel, this is about the third time that your brothers fought this year. On another card, EFC 118. How were you feeling about this card overall? And obviously, you know, having the personal interest with your brother on the card.
Yeah, no, this was a very exciting card, especially for my brother and myself. There were 4 flyweight fights on this card. So in terms of the division that we both fight in, him pro, I'm amateur, it was absolutely stacked. Him going up against Mickey Kluter, it's a massive step up. Very, very excited for that fight. The build-up between Godfrey and Ntando Zondi was absolutely fire. It was amazing, and the fight delivered as well. This card was awesome. To see Rudy Roots back in the EFC cage was also very interesting for me. Coming back from the Ultimate Fighter and his performances there, that was good. Another star that I like, Billy the Kid, also coming on quite late. He, if I'm not mistaken, Billy was originally matched up with Ayanda. And then Ayanda got to jump up to Rudy. Great card. Great card.
So from the lightweight perspective, Patrick, Starboy, we know that you're a lightweight fighter. In the co-main, well, I guess we shifted from originally being a lightweight fight between Martin Verstappen and Cole Henning to being a lightweight fight. There weren't many lightweight fights on this card. Actually, there were none. How did you feel about this card?
If I'm to be honest, the first time I saw the fight card, I was like, wow, what a fight card, you know. And I knew it was going to be a lot of fire and stuff because they were really, really good opponents, you know, when it comes to this fight card. But when it comes down to the Martins fight against Bruta, the original fight, I thought that was going to be very interesting. Then Koleni stepped in due to whatever reason and stuff like that. And I was kind of a little bit disappointed with Koleni because he had all the advantages for him to win the fight, but I think he got scared. He wasn't really fully committed on the fight because he dropped his opponent twice, I think, or three times, but he didn't do any follow-ups. I think because he was scared of the wrestling or something. So when you give your opponent such privilege, then it means that you're not ready to be in the cage, you know. So yeah.
I think with that
The
said,
other
let's
fight
go into the detail. I think with that said, let's go into the details of the main event at this point. Now, the main event, we saw Rudy Roots, like you said, Joel, Rudy Roots returning from The Ultimate Fighter, coming off the back of having trained with one of the greats, Valentina Shevchenko, coming back to the EFC to fight.
I think
We
Yao
lost
frozen
Yao.
up there. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've lost Yao there. But yeah, if one of you guys want to take away a bit away about Rudy Roots, I think when I look at the fight itself, for me, Rudy Roots coming into this fight, it looked great. He's in great shape, and facing somebody like Ayanda, who's is obviously coming off a loss, right? But for me, when you look at somebody like Ayanda, great heart, he's always in there, he's always in the fight. And maybe at one point in the fight, I want to say maybe the fourth round, he had a chance to try and maybe he could have done something in that fight, but he couldn't pull it off. So Ayanda came up short in that fight. And for the one thing that I would say really let him down is his takedown defense, and this happened in his last fight as well. I have to say, it's something that I've noticed, and it's something that he needs to take care of. If he takes care of that aspect of his skill set,
Yeah.
I think it'd be phenomenal in the division. But take nothing away from Rudy Roots, it was absolutely fantastic in the fight.
You know, adding
I
up to what
think
you just said, right? Personally, I know Ayanda, right? He's very good on the ground, and he definitely knows how to stop the takedowns, and he knows how to get up when he's on the ground. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like he loves proving the point, showing people that you might take him down or keep him down, you won't be able to make him tap. You know. So, and I once said to him that you're losing gun control time by doing that. You know, if he had done the same thing he did in the round 4 and round 5, stopping the takedowns and trying to keep the fight on his foot, he would have won the fight, in my opinion. You know, but now going in there to prove a point against a guy that everybody knows is so good on the ground and he got a lot of energy. You know, I keep on telling you that are close to me. MMA is not about proving the point. It's about winning. You need to be very smart. You don't have to go out there and prove to the world that I can knock him out. It's not about that. It's about your game plan. It's about your style and the style of your opponent. You know, so if you know you're good at one particular thing, stick to that and make it count. Don't try and go there and impress the crowd or impress your friends or your coach. And you go in there, you make a mistake, then you lose. And lose is the lose. Nobody cares if you if you did so well or whatever. As long as you lost, then you lost. You know, so I'm really, really disappointed about that fight because I really thought he was going to win. You know, because Rudy got tired in the fourth and the fifth round,
Thank
but it
you.
wasn't enough.
Thank you.
It wasn't enough,
I,
you know. So
I think with that, Joel, let me come to you. So, how important was gas tank in this fight? Because, like the two gentlemen just said, as the fight progressed, we saw Rudy getting tired and Ayanda coming more and more into the fight and getting more and more opportunity. How important was gas tank in this fight? And do you think Rudy was prepared in terms of having the right gas tank for a 5-round fight?
Yeah, I think gas tank is of the most importance in MMA. I think there's nothing as big of an equalizer as fitness. So when you go into that cage, you need to know that you can go the full 5 rounds. Do I think that Rudy prepared for 5 rounds? Yes, I do think he prepared for 5 rounds. Is that what it looked like? Absolutely not. Ayanda also he came in fit. He was a lot fitter than I thought he would be going into this fight. When you're fighting a wrestler like Rudy, it is absolutely difficult to try and get your game plan going. And if you watch rounds 1 through 3, Ayanda was always coming forward. Rudy was dancing on the outside, using a lot of footwork. And as soon as Ayanda came forward, that's when Rudy would shoot and get those takedowns. In rounds 4 and 5, where Ayanda was far more successful, Rudy was gassed, and he was almost following Ayanda like a zombie. Ayanda was on the back foot cutting angles, and that's when he was starting to piece him up. Gas tank, sure. Rudy was absolutely wasted. That 4th round, I think if Ayanda jumped a little bit quicker, he could have got the knockout or the TKO. Yep. I've not seen someone that gassed in a title fight ever. But props to Rudy for coming back in that 5th round and actually laying it all on the line and actually getting it done. Again, with that, I think his game plan would have been to hang on Ayanda and just get Ayanda to be tired out through rounds 1 through 3. But it's sort of like the reverse happened. And Ayanda just showed a crazy gas tank, especially with the wrestling. Could we have asked for a better fight on that specific fight? I don't think so. I think that was, both of them were superstars just based on that fight.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to add one more thing, and big up Ayanda in the chat. Salute to you, Ayanda. Is the one thing that we know with Ayanda, as we've seen him fight in the EFC now, there's always one thing that he's got. He's got heart. He's got plenty of it, and it's just getting it done at the like you guys said, getting it done at that right time. And that 4th round was so pivotal. And when it went into the 5th, and the way the 5th panned out, it was more disappointing than anything else, because the gas tank was still there for Ayanda. You know what I mean? The gas tank was still there for Ayanda. It was them takedowns, man. And I thought, oh my God, you know what I mean? But hey, shout out to Rudy Roots for the win. Ayanda will be back, like he said. I did say to him after the fight, he's back to the drawing board. But we know that talent is there. That stamina is there. He's just putting everything together to get the right outcome. And it will come. It will come. He's just going back to the drawing board.
Going back
Can
to the
I
drawing
also
board.
say something about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, please.
Ayanda is a very, very good fight. He's very intelligent. He got mad cardio. You know, he can go even for 30 minutes. He can do that. You get what I'm saying? So Rudy, I think the reason why Rudy got tired was because he was sure he was going to finish him round 1, round 2, round 3 max. Right. You know, once you go into a fight with the intention of finishing your opponent before the whole full fight, and you don't get that done, it messes with your head, and that affects your fitness. So I think that's what happened to Rudy. He was not expecting Ayanda to be able to put up a fight the way he did. You know, I had no doubt that he cannot make Ayanda tap. I knew that for a fact. You know, and I knew Ayanda is not going to get tired at no point in that fight. My only worry is just being controlled for too long and allowing your opponent to have that control time against you. Because I know Ayanda have the ability to get up or to stop the takedown if he wanted to. You know, if he can just focus on that, then not allowing people to take him down, or even if they do take him down, to get up immediately and keep the fight standing, I don't think anybody will beat him anytime soon. That's my opinion, though, because he's that good.
I agree.
No, 100%. I think we're all definitely looking forward to seeing Ayanda back in the hex. As he said, coming back stronger. We all saw the fact that he could have and should have won this fight, possibly. And the one thing he said before the fight was, if I can put up a good show, or I can beat Rudy, should I not then be on the Ultimate Fighter? And with the show that he put up against Rudy, yes, he might have lost. And like you said, you know, it went to the judges. But even if you want to talk about the fact that mentally Rudy should have been ready for 5 rounds, he couldn't get Ayanda out, and then it didn't quite go his way. It went all the way to the judges. That show from Ayanda is literally a world-class performance that not a lot of fighters would have been able to put in against someone who had just come off the back of training with someone like Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. So shout out to Ayanda for an amazing title fight. I know a lot of people wrote him off before the fight, but he absolutely brought the fight and could have actually won the fight. But with that said, let's go into the co-main event. Now, this is obviously the fight that happened right before the fight that we just talked about. This is the fight between Martin van Staden and Cole Henning. A fight that was supposed to be at lightweight. It changed to go up to welterweight. We all know that it can be difficult to cut weight sometimes, but fighters do accept different weight classes. I think, Patrick, you're a bit closer to this one, and you spoke about it earlier. What were your thoughts on this fight?
In my opinion, Cole Haney, from the beginning, I never thought he stood a chance of winning the fight. But when the fight started, he started so well. And I started crossing my fingers saying that Cole Haney might put up a big upset in the card. Then he disappointed me again by pulling back, because his striking was so good. But he didn't want to get up and get into a clinch with Martins, and that was a big fail on his side. Because I was supposed to fight Coleni in a kickboxing event, right? So I believe that for him to be preparing to fight against a guy like me, it means he needs to level up his training, his fitness and his conditioning and everything. So I was really looking forward to a better performance from him. So, but I was really disappointed, really. And the Punisher is not the same like he was when he was younger, because before he got a lot of energy and a lot of fire and stuff like that. But what I saw the other day, personally, I'm not really impressed, because but like they know, like we all know that age is also an important factor in sports. He's a legend. You can't take that away. He's a legend. He got a lot of experience. He got a heart and stuff like that. But he's not the same, like the same Punisher that I once knew, that I once used to watch. You get what I'm saying? So, in other words, I'm trying to say I was disappointed in Cole Ennis' performance in the night.
So, disappointed, age comes into play. Still, at 41 years old, the Punisher managed to secure the win. And as we just saw, they secured the win with an entire finish. Joel, let me come to you with this one. Now, the Hitman is sitting on a 5-6 record with a 3-fight losing streak. We've obviously seen him losing very recently to Humphrey Mulenga, as well as, yes, exactly, Racist Lonely, with a crazy head kick. I mean, the sweat went flying off his head. It was beautiful. What do you think is next for the Hitman after this co-main event and losing to, well, quite frankly, a fighter that's over the age hill, where we would look at him and say he shouldn't be winning these fights, and not that convincingly?
Sure. It's a very good question. What's next for Cole? I think Cole's he's gonna have to spend some time in the division and just taking any fight that he can get. Maybe start to fight the up and coming guys. Just to see if he can get back into that win column. 3 losses in a row, all 3 by knockout. It's tough. He also had the Muay Thai fight as well in between that, where he also lost there. He needs to take a serious look at why he's fighting, figure out why he wants to get back in the cage, and assess whether it's worth it to still get back in. I like Cole. I think recently, or as of late, he's just been a little bit timid and gun shy. I'd like to see him get back to the movement. He seems to be planting in front of his opponents a little too much, too willing to trade. And as Patrick said, he needs to pull that trigger. He needs to go out there and show us that he wants it. But I still think there's a lot of guys that he can test himself against in the division. Yeah, it's a tough place to be, especially in the pro leagues.
Speaking of the division, Ola, let me come to you. Now, this fight was in the welterweight division of the EFC. We know who the current champion is, and we know who the current #1 contender is that's going to be fighting against him. Well, let me just say it's Akir Badat versus Luke Michael coming in December. In terms of the welterweight division, I guess this fight didn't have too many stakes. Do you see Martin potentially having a championship run after this co-main event, after this knockout win? Yes, Cole is not necessarily the best opponent right now, but what are your feelings about that in terms of his potential impact on the welterweight division of the EFC?
Bro, you can never tell with the EFC, but you just don't know who can get what opportunity at any time. I mean, even Ayanda, coming off a loss, still got the opportunity to fight for the interim title there. So at any time you could get called upon, that this opportunity is there for you. Do you want to take it? And it's all about grabbing opportunities with both hands and running with it, because you just don't know what door that opportunity could open for you. But the welterweight division, as it looks, is there's a lot of killers in there. There's some hungry guys in there, as we said earlier on with Peace Excommunicado, Patrick himself, competing in that division there. Luke coming down from 185 to come and try his hand, at gaining the 170 title. There's so many movements there, and like I said, opportunities come and go, but when they come knocking on your door, you got to stay ready. It's all about putting them wins together. You know, saying just now, in terms of you got maybe fight some up and coming fighters, some of the hungry guys, and if you beat them, you might show to the higher ups that, hey, listen, the hungry guys that you think you want to give opportunities to, I'm shutting them down, I'm knocking them out, I'm finishing them. I think I deserve another opportunity or another chance, maybe at the title, maybe at the interim, maybe at something, you know, but we'll see. Because if, say, look, Marco goes at 170 and maybe secures a win there, for example, and competing at 185, 170 could be kind of difficult sometimes to simultaneously defend in both divisions. All of a sudden, a vacation comes alive and you've been on the winning streak. All of a sudden, that opportunity comes to you. So everything is about timing. Everything is about timing. But as long as you keep winning your fight, you keep staying ready. You know, you leave nowhere else to go for the people, that the matchmakers at the EFC, to give you that opportunity when it does come knocking.
Now, you mentioned something. I think now we're just going to go into which fights you guys found interesting. You mentioned quite a few up and coming, young, hungry fighters, and this card was stacked with those fighters. We've got Yemba, who's just come in. Shadrick Yemba, who's just come into the EFC with a great win. We've got Glody Kanzeko, who got his second win. I think he's 2-5 now, which is crazy because everyone respects Glody, but he doesn't have that many wins. We had a lot of fights on this card that were very, very interesting. So, of this card, which fights stood out for you on the night? Joel, let's go to you first.
Jeez, got me on the spot here. I think the fight, which if the main card wasn't the fight of the night, the next one I would have looked at Peace and Jason. Jason, also a legend of the game, coming back, and Peace just giving a masterclass. It was actually beautiful to see Peace in his element over there like that. And then, as we got to talk about the Zondier and Godfrey fight, that was, yeah, anticlimactic. It's Godfrey spoke a lot leading up to the fight. Nintendo said, "We'll see you in the cage," and that's exactly what happened. Nintendo's got a very bright future. He's going to be a superstar, and it's been a privilege to watch his career from amateurs going through to pros. But he's definitely one to watch.
Absolutely, I completely agree. Those two fights were very exciting, and I've just put up here the finish by excommunicado Peace Ingopani in the welterweight division. Patrick, now there were quite a few fights, and we saw this finish there. Which fights impressed you? Which fights on this card were interesting to you?
It's the Zombie and Godfrey's fight, followed by the Lucky and Emerson's fight. I would have said if Emerson didn't have a short notice fight against Lucky, that was going to be the fight of the night for me, because Emerson is very, very skilled. Is a very, very skillful striker, and he's better than Lucky in terms of striking and also in terms of the ground. But Lucky, on the other hand, Lucky is tough. Lucky got a heart. Lucky is strong, and Lucky got mad power. You know, so like I even said before the fight, I'm like, if Emerson is fit, he stands a chance of beating Lucky. But if he's not fit, there's no ways he's going to pass round one against Lucky. And that's what was that was exactly what happened. But now the Godfrey's fight and the Zondi fight, what caught my attention is you could see that Godfrey's game plan was to wrestle Zondi, which is the only way he could actually win against Zondi.
Mm-hmm.
And now Zondi can wrestle, and it's also a very good striker. And you know, people might not believe it, but your preparation is as important as your training partners, right? And check the people that Godfrey trains with. He trains with Billy. Billy's great, right? But he got his his ups and downs sometimes, right? And now check Zondi's training partners. He's grappling with Demate. Demate is a very strong grappler. He's good and is technical as well. And then he does pad work with Krulane, that is the best in the game. So if you have somebody that is preparing with these two people, and you got someone that only have one guy that he can actually rely on, and check the chances, man, preparation, it's not going to be the same. But kudos to Godfrey, because he came all out. He came all out trying to give it a fight. But I think he allowed the fight to get into his head. And when you don't fight level-headedly, it's a problem. You cannot fight with your heart. You need to use your head. You need to fight smart, not to fight to prove a point. So that was the mistake he made. And Zondi knew that it was a grudge fight. He knew he's going to bring the fire, so he was prepared for that. So, and the worst part about everything is Godfrey got submitted with his own game plan. So that's the fight for me for the night.
I think just sticking very, very quickly with the Godfrey Nkwonazi and Ntando Zondi fight, there was a scrap between Godfrey Nkwonazi and a fan in the crowd after the fight. Godfrey jumped the cage to go and fight a fan, and very ironically, the person who grabbed him is someone who was involved in the last EFC cage scuffle in the form of Van Dam Mbui. Van Dam grabbed Godfrey and just like pinned him against the edge of the
Jesus.
Van Dam, legend. It was classic.
Ow, ow, ow.
But I think let me
What a
come to you
night
with that
it was,
one.
man.
What a night. With all these stellar fights, which ones stood out for you? Which ones would you like to point out to in terms of these fights?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's been a lot of great fights mentioned there, but like I said earlier on, the peace fights definitely stood out. Zondi as well. I mean, I don't know what he was saying to that brother after he choked him out. It looked like it was antagonizing him in a little bit. Came back from the cage and I just tapped him, but it's adrenaline rush sometimes. He gets you into those kind of modes. I don't know if Zondi told him, "Hey, bro, I just choked you. I'll get over that fence and jump over there and see what you can get over there." You just never know, bro. But no, I thought the card was great. And also even the main event, I thought was a really, really good fight because of the back and forth and the tie that turned in the fourth round. And Patrick made a fantastic point earlier on. When you're going into a fight and your mindset is to finish the fight before the round is done, we could see in the last UFC card with Brandon Royval and Tatsuro Taira. Right, Tatsuro was all over Brandon, and the way Brandon turned that fight around was kind of halfway through the third, maybe beginning of the fourth, and he just took over the fight from there. And then look what happened; he got a split decision win off of that. So you got to be ready to go the entire 5 rounds. But the back and forth and the way the tide turned in that fight, that it made you get on the edge of your feet, on the edge of your seat to see. Oh, could there be something here? Could there be something here? Could there be a tide that changes here? So yeah, there's a lot of good performances on the card, but yeah, those will be probably the 3 standouts that I'll say. I'll add Glody Kanzeko in there as well. I thought he came out with a great performance too.
100%. So I'm gonna put you guys just a little bit on the spot. You've given me all the fights that you found interesting. But of all of these, which were your fights of the night? I'm going to go down. Joel, you first. Which was your fight of the night? Just one fight. Which one?
It has to be Rudy and Ayanda for me.
Yeah. The main event. Okay. Patrick, yours?
Yeah, same as well. The main event.
All 5 rounds. They were so delicious. Ola, yours.
It's going to be a full house, bro. It's going to be a full house. Yeah, it's the main event for me as well. Like I said, I kept you on the edge of your seat. You just didn't know what was going to happen. And they gave as good as they got. And Ayanda was in the fight the whole time. And that makes it fight of the night for me. They both left it all in the ring. And seeing the champ, Eagle Cabeza there as well, supporting Rudy Roots was excellent to see. I don't know about you guys, what you guys think will happen in terms of unifying the titles. I don't know how you guys think that's going to pan out. You guys definitely know more than me. So I'm looking forward to hearing that from you guys because I don't know how that's going to happen, bro.
Now, Rudy said they're never going to fight each other.
That old chestnut. Okay.
Yeah, and it just seems very possible now because it's very likely that the GOAT shall relinquish that belt. So, in terms of unification, it's probably going to be an undisputed title very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Ego's also, he's not, I think he's scheduled to fight in December as well at lightweight.
Yeah.
So yeah, that featherweight strap, I wouldn't see him defending it anytime soon. And as Patrick mentioned, they won't fight each other. They're brothers.
Yeah, that's
Do
definitely
you
not gonna happen.
do you can I put one more name in the mix? And we haven't seen him in a little while because he's not really been active in the EFC for some time. But I think he's as good as anybody in the division. And for me, that's the nightmare, Bradley Swanepoel. I don't know what you guys think about this guy.
So, interestingly enough, we've been recently having a chat with Bradley. We have an interview with Rudy from sometime last year where apparently he and Bradley were going at each other on the social. So there's a little bit of bad blood there. So it would be interesting to see him come back into the featherweight picture with this bad blood for this title. I would love to see that as well. That would be a very, very interesting fight to happen. I agree. I'm not sure how you guys see it. Joel, Patrick?
Yeah,
Bradley
I think
Swanepoel coming
it's gonna
back.
be very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting one. Why did he stop fighting anyways?
I think he's been on a break essentially with training because they've been doing a lot of training out in Mauritius with his dad's gym. So I think they've been focused more on getting the training up to scratch and just building their gym. But I know that he is looking in the future. And we saw what work he was doing before. I think he's lost to Ego, where he lost in the title contendership. So I think it'll be good to see him back in the Hex, especially against Rudy Roots, who has come back. And they do have a history. So that's going to be an amazing fight, I think, definitely. With that
Stories
said,
make
stories make fights. Coming to the next fight, the next topic, finish of the night. Now, I'm going to take this one first because for me, as much as we saw in Tando, we saw Martin, there was one finish on this card, one finish that just stood up above the rest. The finish from Pikachu. Now, I must say this is recorded as the fastest finish at welterweight with, I think, 40 seconds on the clock. He submitted Given Majuba in stunning fashion. No one really saw that coming. And he said, look, how could you guys not see it coming? I finished all my fights in the first round. He took Given down very skillfully. And before you know it, the fight was over. So for me, this was 100% my finish of the night. There was nothing that could come close to what he managed to do in those 40 seconds, getting the Americana, which I learned on the night from the other beast, Patrick. So not you, Nerik, that the Americana goes this way and Kimura goes that way. I was like, oh, okay, now I know. So he finished by Americana, and I think that was an absolutely stunning finish. Which was your finish of the night, gentlemen? Which finish impressed you the most?
I'm going to jump in. Yeah, I was quite impressed actually with Martin's finish. From my perspective and where I was watching the fight, I had a very, very close seat, and it looked like Martin was just trying to get cage time. Being out of the cage for a year and a half, it looked like he's just chilling. He's trying to get some cage time, get the ring rust off. And Cole landed one shot that was a little heavier than Martin expected, in my view. And Martin decided, all right, we're ending the fight right now. And he puts everything on him, and he ended up finishing Cole the same way that Humphrey did, with a knee to the head.
No, that was a very good finish, especially coming from the 41-year-old Martin van Staden. Patrick, which finish did it for you?
I'll say it's the Zondi and Gottfried's fight. Because if you look at it, Zondi is known to be a striker, and Godfrey is known to be a grappler, right? And now the striker finished the grappler, with a choke. And for me, that is beautiful. To be honest. So that, for me, that's the finish of the night for me.
It was a great finish. It really was. Ola, for you, which finish did it for you?
Yeah. For me, it's got to be excommunicado, Peace, Gupani. I think this brother, they do great work out there in the House of Tinkerbell. Great people over there. With people like Gift Walker, who's already seen the belt. JP Kruger. They got some fantastic guys over there in that gym, and these guys are killers. Lions only. They do their thing, and they went out there like a lion, got the job done. And this, this is second. Since he lost to Mark Humes, this is the second, finish that that is seen in the first round. So for me, I think if he keeps putting it together like this, yeah, he might be looking at that welterweight strap again very, very soon if he carries on this trajectory. But that finish there was almost a walk. It was almost a walk off, but he had to put one hammer fist on just to make sure.
Just
It was
to make
almost
sure.
a walk off. Yeah, it was almost a walk off. I like it. I like it.
So shout out once again to Yanda Zwane. Salute in the chat. Rematch? Do you guys think that Yanda should get an immediate rematch or a rematch in the near future for that title? Or do you think he should come into the picture? Although this would be, I think, his third bite to the cherry because he was in the featherweight Grand Prix. Unfortunately, he lost to Simba Konya. Now he's lost to Rudy Roots. Do you guys think a rematch would be in order now, later? What are your thoughts?
Can I ask a question? Wasn't
Yes, Patrick.
Zimba was supposed to fight the champion because he won the tournament they had in the featherweight division? So I think if anybody
Yeah.
should get a shot at that interim championship now, should be Zimba against Rudy. And if Rudy wins, then Ayanda can get a rematch against Rudy again. But if Zimba wins the fight, then Zimba should fight Kevin for the belt if he's still the champion. What do you guys think?
Look, I like that idea. I like that idea. Even I understand, welcoming him back to the featherweight. It's look for us fight fans, especially people like myself that don't compete, not guys like yourself that actually do the work. And I salute you guys. It's an honor just sitting down and chopping it up with you guys, man. I got maximum respect for what you guys do. I couldn't do it. I can talk about it all day, but I couldn't do it. So big respect to you guys, man. But in terms of rematch, I think maybe that opportunity might come for Ayanda, if I'm being brutally honest, will come for him maybe down the line, not off the back of the two chances that he's had. If I'm looking at it, I'm being honest with it. But I think Ayanda going back to the drawing board would eventually get back to that spot, because I know the talent is there, I know the heart is there, I know the skill set is there. It's just putting it together, and timing, like I said, is everything. And I think the time will come. Don't rush it, Ayanda. Eventually, you're still young, and I think you get back to that space where you're going to start dominating and get into title fights again. 100%, I believe in that.
Yeah,
amazing.
Just to go back to Simba Patrick, I think he's moved down to the bantamweight division, which is why Ayanda ended up getting the shot, because he was actually next in line. And then the next spanner I want to throw in here is Bailey the Kid and Ayanda were originally matched up to fight on this card, and then Ayanda got called up to the interim title shot. Bailey came off a fantastic round one win. I would like to see Ayanda up against Bailey.
Yeah, that would be a good
That could
fight.
be a fun fight.
Yeah, it's going to be, because I think they're gonna stand more. They're gonna stand and bang more, because they both can wrestle, but Eda likes to strike, and Billy also likes to strike, but Billy came from a boxing background, so I think it's gonna be a really, really good matchup, in my opinion. The fans will want to see that fight, Billy against Ayanda.
That'll be a good
Yeah,
fight.
that'd
Who
be
do you
great.
guys think is going to take that one? Ola, who do you think will take that one very quickly?
I mean, I can't go past Ayanda at the
not
moment,
right now.
but you know what I mean. I can't go past Ayanda at the moment, man. You know what I mean. But it'd be an interesting fight to see. It's just more preparation, mindset, and putting it all together, because everything else is there. It's like cooking that pot of stew, and you just know it's just nearly there. You need that one or two ingredient. You know what I mean? That grandma recipe that she didn't tell you, but your aunties, they use that recipe every now and again. Ayanda just needs to put it together, man, and cook that and cook properly, man. And eventually, we're all gonna be eating out of his hands. 100%, I believe that.
Awesome, gentlemen. I think next fight of the week.
fighter of the week.
So we've talked about length about the bouts on the EFC 118 card, fight of the night, finish the night. But from this card, who was your fighter of the week? Which fighter individually stood out for you? Joel, let's start with you.
Geez, starting with me, just as I'm trying to think. I'm going to say Liekle. We haven't chatted about Liekle at all. Liekle was matched up with Sianda Vilakazi. And he went in there and he dominated. He landed a beautiful right hand, which rocked Sianda. And then he kept chasing that finish. I think he had the armbar on. I think he got it on the third time when he went belly down. And that was a very, very tight finish. He's a quiet guy. If you ever run into him, he doesn't say much. He's there to take part of the week and just have fun fighting. And he lets his fights do the talking. So I would say probably he was fight of the week. I was very impressed with his performance.
I want to concur 100%. I think he was also mine simply because not only did he keep trying the arm bar, but eventually he got it right. And he showed those signs of where he trains. So he trains obviously with Plan B down in PE, but also when they do come up, they train at House of Tinkerbell, of which we know the prowess of the JP Krugers, the P. Singupanis, the Gift Walkers. So I'm a huge fan of Liekle Ngamatwini. I'm looking forward to definitely seeing him the Hex some more. Ola, who is your fighter of the week?
This one here is a little bit tough, but I can't. I have to give it to Martin van Staden. I mean, I fought 41 years old to still be doing what he's doing at the, I mean, and anyone to that's making Patrick disappointed, especially with the Cole Henning situation there. I mean, you got to give it to him and say, you know what, you got the job done at the age. And like I said, who knows if he keeps putting it together, he might find himself right up there where opportunities is going to come his way. So yeah, for that one back there, I'm going to give it to Martin van Staden.
The Punisher. Starboy Patrick, your fighter of the week.
For me, I'm going to give it to Glody. Reason is because not everybody that got knocked out, like the way he got knocked out, to come out and finish his opponent like that, it takes a lot of courage, because normally when you got knocked, because my fight against him, and because I kicked him really hard in the head, and he stood up, and I was like, damn, this guy's not a human being, Then I had to follow up. I followed up with a flying knee, got him in my shin. He got down. He was trying to get up again. Then I followed up with the armor fist. And after that win, most people, they might have given up on the sport, but he didn't let that get to him. He went back to the drawing board. He trained hard because Moyo is a tough guy. He's a very, very tough guy. Moyo is also strong and hard, but Glody finished him like it was nothing. And you could say that Glody was coming from a win from his previous fight, the way he fought that day. So for me, I give Glody all the credit because for what the performance he put in there, he won my respect on that night, really.
No, 100%. I absolutely love Glody. I love seeing him at the fight nights. He's always dripping swag. Like his dressing is on point. And like you said, Guide Moyo is not an easy opponent. I think he's coming off.
He is mad active on social media as well. He's mad active on social media. Man. Yep. I love watching on social media. He's crazy. He's a crazy brother.
Glody Kanzeko is amazing. Now, those are amazing picks, gentlemen. I think this fight night was great. There were lots of great fights, lots of great fighters. So I think those picks were amazing. Now, we just finished off EFC 118, but we do have other fights that are coming up soon on the EFC calendar. So we're just going to go into a few of those fights and look at which fights you guys are most excited about in terms of the fights that have been announced. Now, Ola, I'm going to start with you because I know what excites you on this fight card. But of these fights here, I mean, we've got Terence Big Ball Valelo, the Black Panther, back against Trapdoor Spider, Edson Machavani. We have the Bantamweight Women's Championship on the line between Juliet Chuku and Dana Van Beek. We've got Plan B back against the Chef, Sia Nombebe. We've got Zico Makengele, the Gorilla, back training at Team CIT now, so we don't know what he's going to bring. We've got Horatius Olonu, obviously back in the EFC. His last win against the Hitman Cole Henning. We've got British Bola Young, who's back against Christian Omakombio, who I think in his last fight, he retired the legend P.T. Coxon. So there's a lot of great fights that are coming up on the AFC roster. Which fights are you guys looking forward to from what's been announced so far?
I mean, look,
Hola.
I love Triple B. Yeah, everybody knows that. I'm not gonna go for the obvious. I'm gonna go for the next obvious, which is Blammy Shadrach Usua. I think this brother here is on a mad trajectory. Obviously, the loss that he took, there were circumstances behind it. I was unaware of it till I got to speak to him, and I thought, oh, okay, that happened. If that happened, then it's kind of understandable. But it's come back in his last fight to really show everybody that, listen, I'm still here, and I'm still trying to get to the very pinnacle of my division. And even with the disappointments of not being able to compete against Luke, he's saying, look, I'm not sitting around. I'm going to take another fight. I'm going to let Luke go and do what he's doing down there at 170. And when it comes back up from 170, I want to compete at 185. I'm going to be even more sharpened rather than just sitting down there and waiting for the title fight. I'm going to sharpen my tools. I'm going to stay active. I'm going to, keep my mind ready, so I don't got to stay. I don't got to get ready. And for me, that's elite mentality, in my opinion, for Blammy, and that's why I'm looking forward to this fight.
Starboy, you've heard what Ola's got to say. He's 100% right. Which fight are you looking forward to?
I'm actually looking forward to the former welterweight champion and my own boy, Alonu, what's his name called? Because that fight is going to be a banger. So the both of them got power. The both of them are strong. The both of them are smart. That's going to be a really, really interesting fight to watch. Could even be the fight of the night. Now then, besides that one, then I would say it's Edison's fight against Lelo. Because when it comes to striking, Edison is a lot better than him. And when it comes to ground, obviously, it's Edison. So I feel like the main event is going to be one-sided. Not because Edison is my friend or my boy, but I'm speaking about fact that is there. But the one that I think is going to bring the fire in, is the fight against Zico and Alonu, how do you call his name? The Nigerian guy. That is going to be fire.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting fight. I mean, we know what the Gorilla brings to the Hex, the power, but we've also seen what Olonu brings, not just power, but he's rangy, he's long, and he's skilled. Oh, that fight's going to be so sumptuous. Joel, of these fights, which one excites you?
Please. I think all of these fights actually excite me, but the British Bullion versus Christian I can't say the surname versus Christian. I'll need to practice that. Omakombio. That's going to be a very, very interesting fight. British, he came back, I think, earlier this year off of a little bit of a hiatus, and he had a very, very quick submission finish. I think both fighters are very, very good on the ground. Both of them have a lot of power, so that's going to be a very, very fun fight. And Patrick touched on it, Balelo versus Edson Machavani. That is going to be a great fight, and I think that the community is going to be shocked with what Edson is going to do. Also, not saying because Edson's a friend and we've been training partners.
So what in the park?
Stylistically, this matchup is an absolute nightmare for Balelo. Edson is able to take it wherever he wants in this fight, and it's very, very scary for Balelo. Balelo is going to have a perfect performance to get this done up against Edson.
You don't call him Triple B for nothing, man. Big balls Balelo, man. You know what I mean? He's gonna.
There you go. That's what it is. BBB.
Another thing you guys should know about the British fight and Christian fight, right? Christian walks around 79 kgs. He fights at 77 kgs. So he's not doing weight cut. And he got mad energy. He's strong. He got power. He can wrestle. He can strike. British, on the other hand, needs to cut a lot of weight for this fight. So Christian is always going to have that cardio, that fitness, that endurance in the fight. That's a huge advantage, because I'm speaking from experience. When I used to fight bigger guys that are actually good, because I wasn't cutting, I don't get tired. I push them and they give up. So I think it's going to be something that will happen here, because it's going to be a really, really good fight. But my money will be on Christian, if I'm to be honest.
Yeah. I think if we look at these, specifically the two fights on the right, Zico, Horatius, and then British Christian, they're in the welterweight division. There's now a lot of action happening in the welterweight division since Zakir Badat became champion. Now, who do you see in the title picture for the welterweight division? We've got them fighting in December, Luke and Badat, Zakir. Who do you think would be next? Who should be next within the welterweight division? Who would deserve the next shot? And let's say Mark Hume comes back. Would he deserve the next shot to say, well, I relinquished the title. I never lost. I'm back. Hello. What do you think is really going to happen in the welterweight division? Let's start with you, Starboy.
I really think if Zico can finish this fight, he should get a chance to fight for the belt again, in my opinion.
Ola?
Yeah, I'm saying that I think if Zico.
Oh no, we got you, Pat.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree with Patrick here. I think if Zico can put this win together, I think for the work that is, especially the work that is put in the division, man, I think he should definitely see the opportunity to fight for the strap again. So we'll see what happens between Badad and Luke Michael, and then we'll be able to go from there. But he's got to get this job done first to even get to see that opportunity. So yeah, I said Zico as well.
I'm going to say Peace. X going to give it to you. I think Peace he's fought his way back with two phenomenal victories, and I mean he lost to Mark Hume, who relinquished and vacated the title. I think Peace is deserving. I think if Mark Hume decides to come back to the welterweight division, that belt never left him. He never lost it to anyone. I think he's got the right to call for it straight away. But yeah, I think Peace is definitely out there for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Peace.
Gentlemen,
also, I agree with you. Also.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much. I think I'm really looking forward to the fights that we have lined up at EFC119 on the 14th of November. It's going to be absolutely, well, as we say for each card, what do we say? Stacked. Graham and Ashley keep stacking these cards. Thank you, Graham and Ashley. Keep stacking these cards. As fans, as fighters, we're very, very happy with everything you guys do. It's much appreciated. But as we come to the end of this show, gentlemen, what are you guys busy with? Is there anything you want to talk about that you guys are busy with, that you want the people to know that you're busy with, to follow you on the socials? And can you please drop your social media handles? I think, Joel, let's start with you. What are you busy with, and where can people find you on the socials?
I'm busy getting back into camps, just waiting for a couple of things to get sorted out, and then hopefully we'll be able to announce my next fight soon. Socials, you can find me on Instagram at JoelSmith_. And follow us on Strikes and Strangles on YouTube. We've also got a podcast going. It's been on a little bit of a break, but it's coming back. And yeah, that's us. That's me.
Starboy, what you be busy with and what you up to? Talk to us.
I want people to know that I'll also be in the fight card, for the next EFC 119. I'm in the fight card. I'll be fighting in my first main event, fighting against Kale Kakabanda. He's ranked number 3 in the lightweight division. I'm ranked number 4. So it's gonna be a war, I'd say. But I'm looking forward to it because I want to be the first one to make him sleep, like I always do.
You know what I said, Blammy earlier on? No. I'm looking forward to your fight now. Let's go.
Starboy versus
and my handle, you can follow me. You can follow me on Ochedi Beats Patrick on Instagram, and also Patrick Ochema Emmanuel on my Facebook account.
Fantastic. Ola, Fight Week Show. Tell the people what you've got going.
Yes, people. Come reach us up on the Fight Week Show. We're talking to a lot of people in the space, a lot of fighters in the space. We definitely usually have a dust up shakedown on Wednesdays where we bring a whole panel to talk about what's been going on in the mainstream of mixed martial arts, especially in combat sports. It could really be any of the topics, and we're talking a lot about EFC on there as well. So come check us out. We're going to be on there tomorrow, and we have Adrian Sanchez, Rayo, Son of Thunder, is going to be joining us tomorrow on the Fight Week Show. Dust up shakedown, 9 o'clock UK time. Yeah, don't miss it, people. And this weekend as well, we got watch along for Francis Ngannou versus Pereira. It's going to be going crazy. on that card there as well, man. So come join us for that, man. We're gonna have a whole panel for that too. Salute.
Amazing. And if you haven't watched the watch along with the Fight Week show, you definitely have to watch it to anyone listening. It's absolute entertainment and it helps you really understand what's going on, what you're really watching. So the commentary is great. So definitely everyone do tune in. But for everyone listening, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe at Hectic Pod on all platforms. Gentlemen, now I've never had a panel this big, to be honest, but I'm not too sure how to get all of you to say kick him in the head at the same time, but I think I'm gonna give it a try.
Countdown.
Are we ready for the kick him in the head?
Yeah.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Kick him in the head!
Awesome. To everyone listening, we will see you soon. Salute.
Cheers.
I love.